Good snowy morning to you, Acadiana. It is February 15th, 2021, and you're listening to Local News Live, a production of AOC Community Media in partnership with the Acadiana Advocate. Their team of journalists print the stories important to our community and state, and we are happy to read you some of those stories. You can hear Local News Live Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on AOC 1, the AOC Community Media channel on YouTube, and on Cypress Street Radio at aocinc.org/csradio. You can find the print versions of these stories and more at theadvocate.com. We couldn't bring you this community service without the generosity of our volunteer news readers. Today, I will start off as your reader. My name's Matt Roberts, and hopefully we'll be joined by a new volunteer this morning. We might be having some technical issues. I think maybe snow has fallen on the line, as we are all seeing snow here in Acadiana this morning. All right, so first off, we're going to talk about the weather situation and our city's response to it. Here in Acadiana, a curfew has been issued. A stay-at-home order is also issued. Officials warn of icy conditions. This story is by Megan Wyatt, a staff writer for The Advocate. The Lafayette Parish Mayor-President Josh Guillory issued a curfew and a stay-at-home order Sunday afternoon in anticipation of a winter storm that's expected to bring icy conditions to the Acadiana region through Mardi Gras. The Lafayette Parish curfew went into effect at 12:01 a.m. Monday and will remain in place until dangerous conditions end and the mayor-president rescinds the order. The Acadiana region, along with much of the state, will be under a winter storm warning, wind chill advisory, and hard freeze warning as inclement weather moves through the area. A winter storm warning was issued on Sunday for the Acadiana region in anticipation of freezing rain, sleet, and snow. As of Sunday afternoon, the warning was set to expire 6 p.m. on Monday. That warning is triggered when forecasts indicate icy accumulation of 1/4 inch or snow accumulation of 2 inches, according to Alex Donato, a meteorologist at the National Weather Service in Lake Charles. About 1/10 of an inch to 1/3 of an inch of ice accumulation is expected in the Lafayette area. It looks like it will be most likely freezing rain or sleet, Donato said. It's possible that it could transition over into snow, and if so, accumulations would likely be less than an inch. A wind chill advisory and hard freeze warning were also issued Sunday, with both expected to be in effect at 6 p.m. Monday until noon Tuesday. It's possible that the Acadiana region will see the lowest temperatures in nearly 4 decades on Monday night, Donato said. The high temperature is expected to reach just 28 degrees in Lafayette on Monday, with the low dipping to 17 degrees that night, according to a Sunday afternoon forecast by the National Weather Service in Lake Charles. Those temperatures could feel much colder, thanks to winds of about 15 miles per hour with gusts of up to 25 miles per hour. The last time we had temperatures this cold really goes back to the 1980s, Donato said. Every few years or so, the temperature gets cool enough as precipitation comes through to have ice or snow, but it's been decades since we've seen temperatures this low. Ice isn't expected to melt until midday on Mardi Gras at best, thanks to sustained cold weather. It's possible the ice could last longer. Although forecasters expect sunny skies on Tuesday, the temperature is only expected to reach just above freezing by midday Wednesday. Any remaining ice should melt, as the temperature is expected to reach the low 50s. Forecasters warn that ice accumulation could result in tree damage, treacherous driving conditions, and power outages in Acadiana. Travel could be nearly impossible, the National Weather Service wrote in a Sunday afternoon winter storm warning. The hazardous conditions could impact the morning and evening commutes. The dangerously cold wind chills could result in hypothermia or frostbite if precautions are not taken. In Lafayette Parish, only essential personnel and those seeking medical care should leave their homes. The National Weather Service advises anyone who must travel to keep an extra flashlight, food, and water in a vehicle in case of an emergency. Louisiana residents can call 511 for road information. And up next in our stories, we have Career Center expands medical program options. School system course starts in fall. This story is by Katie Gagliano, staff writer for The Advocate. The coronavirus pandemic has increased demand for certified medical providers in key areas, and the Lafayette Parish School System's W.D. and Mary Baker Smith Career Center is expanding its medical certification offerings to help students capitalize on job opportunities post-graduation. Principal Holly Boffey said the Career Center will begin offering a new medical assistant program in the fall, in addition to an EMT program launched this August and an overhauled nursing program. The nursing program, originally certified a nursing assistance class, has been swapped to a patient care technician class, she said. The transition was in the works before Boffey, who's been with the center for roughly 7 months, took over. But the principal said one reason for the switch is that the patient care technician and medical assistant courses together allow more students the opportunity to earn medical credentials. Previously, the EMT course was exclusive to the Lafayette High School's Health Careers Magnet Academy. The Lafayette High course will remain in place, Boffey said. Launching a program revamp during the pandemic is ambitious, but Boffey said it was important to the Career Center and the district that the current juniors and seniors don't miss out on career advancement while job opportunities exist. While a lot of students, when they graduate from high school, plan on going to college, some go to college and find they're not successful, or some of them need to have a job that pays more than minimum wage to even help them further their education. I think it's good for all of our students to have opportunities to get industry-based credentials so they graduate from school and can get that good first job and begin to build a career, the principal said. Each course is open to juniors and seniors. The courses are limited because of age restrictions set on the certification exams, Boffey said. In addition to potential certification, the courses also count for 3 credit hours and will count towards graduation requirements. This year, there are 6 students enrolled in the EMT course and 45 students in patient care technician courses, Boffey said. The first months of the new course have been about adjusting the curricula, gathering equipment and materials, registering with necessary state boards, and seeking guidance from partners like Acadian Ambulance and the St. Landry Parish School District, which itself made the switch from the certified nursing assistant to patient care technician and medical assistance programs, she said. So far, the students' response has been positive, the principal said. All of the juniors that we have said that they're running for their senior year in the program, I think that's a great indication we made the right choice, Boffey said. Spencer Saunier, the Career Center's EMT instructor, passed his EMT certification last summer after previously earning his emergency medical responder certification. Fresh off the test, Saunier said he's able to coach the students on how to approach the written and practical application portions of the certification exam. It's not just about knowing the material, but about knowing how to reason and apply the knowledge in different scenarios, he said. Course topics include CPR, how to supply supplemental oxygen, how to fashion a sling, how to read vitals, how to mobilize a broken long bone, and how to stabilize someone with a potential spinal injury, Saunier said. Saunier, an athletic trainer at Northside High School, said his emergency medical skills strengthen his ability to provide the best care to players in all situations. It helps me in my profession see it from a different angle and be able to be a better athletic trainer and vice versa. Athletic training has helped me be a better EMT. It adds another viewpoint on situations, he said. The usefulness of an EMT certification is broad, and career options aren't limited to working on an ambulance. EMTs work with SWAT teams in fire departments and in the oil field, among other areas, and students interested in nursing school or medical school can get a valuable experience and a resume boost from working as an EMT, Saunier said. Earning the certification in high school can either give students a head start towards those goals or help students rule out planned career option with less risk, the teacher said. It saves time and money for students if they take it while they're in high school. The high school pays for their learning as opposed to if they wanted to take it after graduation. Then they would have to pay for their learning. And then just the time, because once they graduate, they're ready to go instead of taking the traditional class that could take 6 months to a year, Sonye said. Everyone should have shelter, and Louisiana nights are getting colder. Due to COVID-19 and concerns for community spread, there's been a dramatic decrease in the available shelter beds. That means many experiencing homelessness may have no other option than to sleep on the street. Throughout this pandemic, Acadiana Regional Coalition on Homelessness and Housing, or ARCH, has been able to utilize local hotel and motel rooms as a temporary housing solution. From there, case managers help our fellow Acadians transition to permanent housing. ARCH is very proud of their success in keeping those they serve safe from COVID-19 and on their way to long-term stability. However, the number of homeless is growing, and ARCH needs your help to get our neighbors out of the cold and into warm, safe housing. Can you help today? If so, go to archacadiana.org. If you would prefer to give by check, please mail to ARCH, A-R-C-H, P.O. Box 3936, Lafayette, Louisiana 70502. Getting back into our headlines, we're very glad to say that we are joined for the first time ever, if a little delayed, we're going to call that snow on the lines, Mr. Ross Campbell. Ross, thanks for being with us on Local News Live this morning.
Thank you, Matt.
All right, I'm going to let you go ahead and take away the stories, and I'm going to go listen on Cypress Street.
Thank you, Matt. The first article is the first title of the first article that I'm reading is Karen Crow Retail Market Sizzles Amid Pandemic. This may only be the beginning for North Lafayette Parish, City Parish, by Adam Daigle, Acadiana business editor. If there's one thing Don's specialty meats owner, Aubrey Cole, learned when his building burned down in 2016, it's that his customers are loyal. They returned after the fire despite the 2 years it took to reopen in a bigger building near the original site in Carencro along Interstate 49. When the stay-at-home orders came during the coronavirus pandemic last spring and business owners braced for the worst, his customers came through again. His sales of meats, boudin, cracklins, and plate lunches never really slumped thanks to drive-through and online sales. He retained all 87 employees between his stores in Karen Crow and Scott. Internet sales shot up 35 to 40%. And his Sunday barbecue dinners, he kept on selling about 700 each week. It was better because of the drive-through and the people know what we offer every day, said Cole, who first opened in 1993. It was a meal every day. That's what they needed. We're really grateful for the Karen Crow base and our growth over there. We have a consistent product like the boudin. You've got to keep it consistent. People love boudin and cracklins, and there's nobody else really in the Karen Crow area that does it like that I know of. Much like other businesses in Karen Crow, the year was a good one for Cole, despite the pandemic. Nowhere in Lafayette Parish did retail sales grow as much as they did in the parish's northern end, leading the way with a 14% increase over 2019. But that doesn't tell the whole story. Sales have been rising steadily for the past 4 years, topping $310.5 million last year. Data from the Lafayette Economic Development Authority shows. In 2015, when consumer spending dipped in Lafayette Parish as the oil and gas slump sent the local economy into a tailspin, Karen Crow had the largest recovery. Sales since 2014 have increased 66%, outpacing the 54.7% increase in sales in Youngsville, while Lafayette's total sales have shrunk less than 1%. Last year's spike in Karen Crow is no surprise, said commercial real estate agent Jeremy Harson of NAI Ladder and Bloom. The demand for commercial space is high, especially along I-49, where the Amazon Fulfillment Center is under construction and expected to open at the end of the year. The values have gone sky high, he said. The last 3 months, we've seen a ton of interest. That interest itself, there's area itself, there's such an energy. It's kind of like downtown Lafayette. The Amazon deal was kind of the cherry on the top. In the next 2 or 3 years, it's going to be very interesting to see what Karen Crow does. The increase in sales in Karen Crow is part of a banner year in Lafayette Parish, one that topped that 2014 pre-slump high water mark with $6.4 billion for an all-time high. Several factors from the pandemic caused that total to swell, said Greg Gothrow, president and CEO of the Lafayette Economic Development Authority, including growth in the suburbs. Last month, the parish was at 7,200 fewer jobs than in December of 2019, but the federal government's unemployment benefits, stimulus checks, and business loans helped keep sales humming in 2020, as did the hurricanes in southwest Louisiana that brought lots of Lake Charles area residents in temporarily. We just saw a retail boom, Gothrow said. It's a little bit of an anomaly, but if you look at retail sales over the years, it's not really that much of an anomaly. You look and see extended growth. As the hub city, if people are going to get out and come here, it's quite amazing. That growth, he noted, has extended north in the past 5 years, following about 20 years of infrastructure development, either south to Youngsville or east and west of the parish lines. Officials have long pointed to the retail development with the Super One Foods and Walmart Supercenter at the I-49 exit in Karen Crow as what ignited the retail growth there. During the pandemic, grocery stores were the big winners. Sales in Lafayette Parish shot up 10% last year, data shows, as customers flocked there while restaurants were reduced to takeout orders. Home improvement stores were also big winners during the pandemic, with Lowe's reporting a nearly $5 billion increase in sales in the third quarter. The Lowe's store at the Gloria Switch exit on I-49 is just inside the Karen Crow city limits. I was concerned at the outset of the pandemic, Karen Crow Mayor Glenn Brasso says. Probably the first 2 months, it affected us very little. Then I felt good about it. As the number kept coming in each month, it seemed like we had a strong base, and it continued throughout the year. I was really happy. We've got a lot of people from the surrounding parishes shopping here, and it takes developers to gamble and build some of those buildings for businesses to come in. Looking at our future really looks good for our community. Housing trends would agree. Home sales in that area grew by almost 40%, and the 221 new homes starts nearly doubled 2019's total, a trend that will likely continue. City officials have noted another 500 houses will be built this year as more people are moving to higher area north of Interstate 10. Brasso said. More rooftops will result in more commercial development. Harson noted the Center Point Shopping Center, the small development at the I-49 service road and the Thoroughbred Drive that spent most of the past year half empty, should have leases signed soon for the 3 remaining vacant spots. The lot in front of it, too, is under contract to be sold. Charlie Brunt, a longtime president of the Karen Crow Business Association, said he's hoping to entice a popular fast food chain into the old Hardee's location next to the Super One. And Brasso said there has been interest for years for another large-scale grocery store. Maybe the price hasn't been right, he said. We have a good pull in Karen Crow, Brunt said. We pull from the south end of St. Landry Parish and the north end of Lafayette Parish. We pull for St. Martin Parish. We have what they need here in Karen Crow, and they don't have to fight the traffic in Lafayette. Acadiana business editor. The University of Louisiana at Lafayette's business and accounting programs got accreditations extended by the Association to Advance Collegiate Schools of Business. The association reevaluates schools every 5 years to ensure that standards for academic excellence are met or exceeded, said Dr. Linda Nichols, Dean of UL's Moody College of Business Administration. It assesses factors such as teaching, research, curricula development, student learning, and other areas and places an emphasis on a commitment to continual improvement. Extension of accreditation reaffirms the excellence of our programs and the dedication of our faculty and staff members to providing high levels of instruction, Nichols said. Beyond that, the comprehensive evaluation process enables us to analyze every aspect of our operations and programs against stringent AACSB standards. UL is among 882 institutions in the world that have earned the association's accreditation in business, and only 189 schools with supplemental accreditation for its accounting programs. The business and accounting programs were required to complete self-evaluation reports. Peer review teams of leaders from other association-accredited schools also conducted virtual interviews last semester with faculty and staff members, students, and alumni. The team's recommendation to extend accreditation was then approved by the association's board of directors. Over the past 5 years, the association has cited the university's business and accounting programs for a range of initiatives and efforts, Nichols said. It has also noted the business and accounting programs for student engagement, including professional development opportunities and training, service learning opportunities for graduate students, diversity and inclusion initiatives, online undergraduate and graduate programs, and strong ties with the business community and nonprofits. Trash pickups canceled Monday. Staff and KATC TV reports. Because of potentially hazardous road conditions caused by winter weather, many trash services have been changed this week. Below is information on those changes. Republic Services will suspend service Monday in all areas, including Iberia and Lafayette parishes. The company said it expects to reopen and resume trash and recycling pickup services on Tuesday. Services will operate on a one-day delay for the remainder of the week, beginning with Monday customers being serviced on Tuesday. Customers are asked to ensure their containers are accessible for drivers to safely service. Acadia Parish. The Acadia Parish Police Jury said trash will not be picked up Monday. The schedule is as follows. Monday routes will be serviced on Tuesday. Tuesday routes will be serviced on Wednesday. Wednesday routes will be serviced on Thursday. Thursday routes will be serviced on Friday. And Friday routes will be serviced Saturday. Calcasieu Parish. There may be delays in waste management pickup services Monday. For updates, visit wm.com/alerts. The residential solid waste convenience centers in Lake Charles and Sulphur will also be closed Monday. Since the sites are closed on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, they will reopen Thursday. Iberia Parish. Waste Connection will be suspending all garbage collections for Monday. It will be assessing the weather conditions on Monday for Tuesday pickup. Vermilion Parish. Abbeville will have no garbage pickup Monday. Pickup will resume Tuesday, with pickup pushed back one day all week through Saturday. The next article is Mid-Show, Today in History by the Associated Press. Today is Monday, February the 15th, the 46th day of 2021. There are 319 days left in the year. This is President's Day. Today's highlights in history. On February the 15th, 1989, the Soviet Union announced the last of its troops had left Afghanistan after more than 9 years of military intervention. On this date, in 1879, President Rutherford B. Hayes signed a bill allowing female attorneys to argue cases before the Supreme Court. In 1933, President-elect Franklin D. Roosevelt escaped an assassination attempt in Miami that mortally wounded Chicago Mayor Anton J. Cermak. Gunman Giuseppe Zangara was executed more than 4 weeks later. In 1992, a Milwaukee jury found that Jeffrey Dahmer was sane when he killed and mutilated 15 men and boys. The decision meant that Dahmer, who had already pleaded guilty to the murders, would receive a mandatory life sentence for each count. Dahmer was beaten to death in prison in 1994. In 2004, Dale Earnhardt Jr. won the Daytona 500 on the same track where his father was killed 3 years earlier. In 2005, defrocked priest Paul Shanley was sentenced in Boston to 12 to 15 years in prison on child rape charges. In 2018, the last of the bodies of the 17 victims of a school shooting in Florida were removed from the building after authorities analyzed the crime scene. 13 wounded survivors were still hospitalized. In response to the Florida school shooting, President Donald Trump, in an address to the nation, promised to tackle the difficult issues of mental health, but avoided any mention of guns. Nicholas Cruz, the suspect in the shooting, was ordered held without bond at a brief court hearing. 10 years ago, protesters swarmed Wisconsin's Capitol after Governor Scott Walker proposed cutbacks in benefits and abolishing bargaining rights for most public employees. 5 years ago, President Barack Obama opened a meeting in Rancho Mirage, California, of leaders from the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, calling the landmark gathering on U.S. soil a reflection of his personal commitment to an enduring partnership with the diverse groups of countries. 1 year ago, the U.S. government said Americans who were on board a cruise ship under quarantine in Japan because of the coronavirus would be flown back on a chartered flight, but that they would face another 2-week quarantine. About 380 Americans were aboard the Diamond Princess. Today's birthdays: actor Claire Bloom is 90, author Susan Brown Miller is 86, songwriter Brian Holland is 80, rock musician Mick Avery of the Kinks is 77, jazz musician Henry Threadgill is 77, actor-model Marisa Berenson is 74, actor Jane Seymour is 70. Singer Melissa Manchester is 70. Actor Lynn Whitfield is 68. Simpsons creator Matt Groening is 67. Model Janice Dickinson is 66. Actor Christopher McDonald is 66. Reggae singer Ali Campbell is 62. Actor Joseph R. Gunascoli is 62. Musician Mickey Craig of Culture Club is 61. College and Pro Football Hall of Famer Darnell Green is 61. Actor-comedian Stephen Michael Guizada is 58. Actor Michael Easton is 54. Latin singer Gloria Trevi is 53. Rock musician Stevie Benton of Drowning Pool is 50. Actor Alex Bornstein is 50. Actor Renee O'Connor is 50. Actor Saren Winter is 48. Olympic gold medal swimmer Amy Van Dyken Rowan is 48. Actor-director Miranda July is 47. Rock singer Brandon Boyd of Incubus is 45. Rock musician Ronnie Vanucci of The Killers is 45. Rock singer guitarist Adam Granduciel of The War on Drugs is 42. Singer-songwriter-musician Connor Oberst of Bright Eyes is 41. Actor Ashley Lynn Confagna is 38. And now the zodiac readings. Aquarius, That's January the 20th through February the 19th. Follow your heart, use your skills benevolently, and do the best job possible. Don't let a change at home interfere with your ideas. Focus on progress and financial stability. Pisces, February the 20th through March the 20th. Let your instincts lead the way. Your actions will set the pace and help you reach your destination without interference. Take care of matters while striving to remain in charge. Aries, March 21st to April the 19th. Trust in your ability to get things done quickly and efficiently. Working alone, presenting what you have to offer, and establishing yourself in a new and exciting set of circumstances looks promising. Taurus, April 20th through May the 20th. Sit tight. If you try to implement a change, you will face opposition. Look for a unique way to use your skills without drawing attention to yourself or your plans. Gemini, May the 21st through June the 20th. Step into the spotlight and reap the rewards. Conduct business with confidence. There is nothing you cannot accomplish. If you set your sights on your target and pursue your dreams with relentless courage. Cancer, June 21st through July the 22nd. Don't be afraid to do things differently. Your uniqueness will shine through. Look for a financial opportunity you can utilize all by yourself. Joint ventures will face difficulties. Leo, July the 23rd through August the 22nd. Take a moment and observe. What you discover will lead to better decisions regarding partnerships. Scrutinize an unexpected opportunity before you decide to engage. Stick to familiar paths. Virgo, August the 23rd through September the 22nd. A change is necessary. Hanging on to something that no longer brings you joy or that limits your options is futile. Embrace what life has to offer. Libra, September 23rd through October the 23rd. Sign up for something you find intriguing, and it will broaden your horizons and encourage you to take on something new and exciting. Do your research and avoid making unnecessary purchases. Scorpio, October 24th through November the 22nd. Stick close to home. Look for innovative ways to improve your surroundings and important relationships. Don't do anything that puts your finances or health at risk. Sagittarius, November the 23rd through December the 21st. Trust and believe in yourself and your ability to get things done. Distance yourself from anyone who pressures you with false claims. Engage in conversations with like-minded people. Capricorn, December the 22nd through January the 19th. An emotional incident will lead to problems with a friend, relative, or peer if empty promises and money are involved. Finish what you start. In state news, state hopes to trim school suspensions. Wide racial disparities noted by Will Centel, staff writer. State educators are launching a program aimed at trimming Louisiana's rate of out-of-school suspensions, including the fact that more than twice as many black students are suspended than their white peers. The idea is better trained school administrators, principals, and counselors will help bridge the gap with students who often arrive at school saddled with poverty, trauma, and other learning barriers. If we can better understand what our kids are going through, where they are coming from, what their beliefs are, then we have a better chance of meeting them where they are and helping them be successful, State Superintendent of Education Cade Brumley said. The effort is touted as a way to meet the social and emotional needs of students from kindergarten through 12th grade. It is supposed to show adults and students how to set goals, show empathy for others, establish positive relationships, and make responsible decisions. The new program will help lead to stronger school climates and academic and emotional success, according to the State Department of Education. Officials of the agency said suspensions often stem from stress, self-doubt, and classrooms that are not inclusive and fail to provide a sense of cultural belonging. Public school leaders will undergo 30 hours of training, including how changes can translate into better performance in the classroom in a state long plagued by low academic achievement. The recommendations will eventually filter down to classroom teachers, starting with 48 public schools with high rates of suspensions, including 14 in the Orleans and Jefferson Parishes school districts. The issue has sparked controversy before, including arguments on the merits of suspensions. During the 2018-2019 school year, out-of-school suspensions totaled 54,020 students, according to state figures. Of that total, 37,893 suspensions involved black students and 16,127 were white students. That translates into more than 30,000 days and 180,000 hours of missed instruction, according to the state. In 2017-2018, suspensions totaled 56,302 students, including 40,383 black students and 15,919 white students. Black students make up 42% of the public school population, and white students 44%. Senate Education Committee Chairman Cleo Fields, a Democrat of Baton Rouge, said some of the problem stems from uneven starts in how and what young kids learn, or rather what young children learn. Kids get depressed and upset in class because they feel they cannot meet certain standards, Fields said. 5 years ago, a state panel did a study of student behavior and discipline. State officials said at the time that students targeted the most tended to be low-income, minority, and disabled. One side said educators were well within their rights to toss out students, especially if classroom disruptors were making it hard for the rest of the classroom to learn. Others said the racial disparities were striking and that it showed teachers needed help reaching children who lack basic social and emotional skills. The state effort is being assisted by LSU. Judith Rhodes, director of the school's Social Research and Evaluation Center, said the training will include a unit in social and emotional learning through a racial equity lens. We are going to go to the literature and look at case studies in other school systems and how disparate impact has been dealt with successfully, said Rhodes, who is an associate professor of research. As kids can learn to regulate their emotions, improve their social behavior, and learn how to learn, and will be able to learn, she said. While the numbers remain high, school suspensions have actually dropped through the years. In 2007, they totaled 86,120 students. The schools are working on this, Rhodes said. It is not something that has been ignored. Said Brumley, I believe that while we have seen some level of progress in those totals, we have a long way to go. Lack of black male teachers, 5% of the total, is another challenge, he added. White women make up 60% of the teaching ranks in Louisiana. If black boys have access to a black male teacher between the 3rd and 8th grade, it leads to many positive outcomes in their life, Brumley said. The coronavirus pandemic, which has disrupted classrooms since March, adds another layer to the challenge. The issue there is when all the children come back to school and you have students who have been in an unstructured environment, how are they going to react, said Mike Falk, executive director of the Louisiana Association of School Superintendents. Falk, a former superintendent of the Central School District, said teachers and students faced similar issues after the 2016 flood, including what students had been through. You want structure, you want order in the classroom, he added, but some people go overboard. Some people go overboard because they don't understand where the kids are coming from. The same concern surfaced during 40 focus groups sponsored by the state on how education was faring during the pandemic. One of the top 3 concerns we received across the board from children and adults is the mental health and well-being of individuals during the pandemic, Brumley said. Rhodes made a similar point. Right now, on this pandemic, all the issues anybody has have risen to new levels. The next article is Louisiana lifting ban on oyster leases. $1 billion court judgment led to moratorium by Haley Parker, staff writer. It's been 19 years since Louisiana, stung by a $1 billion court judgment, last opened its water bottoms for new oyster leases. But the state is now lifting its moratorium, raising hopes among oyster harvesters who have endured a series of setbacks from Mother Nature as well as the BP oil disaster. Some of their never considered lease applications date back to 1998. This is a big deal, a momentous occasion to be getting back into leasing water bottoms again, said Mark Maniscalco, Oyster Lease Program Manager for the State Department of Wildlife and Fisheries. The department changed its leasing rules last year and has now started reviewing 35 applications that have gone unprocessed over the past 22 years. Some of these applications have been tied up in litigation with the state over the oyster grounds in Jefferson, Lafourche, Plaquemines, St. Bernard, and Terrebonne parishes. Corey Dunbar, a Bell Chase-based lawyer, represents some of the applicants, including longtime oyster harvester Terry Alexis, who since 2000 has been seeking leasing rights to more than 450 acres of water bottoms. Dunbar said all of his clients are eager to see more leases open in new grounds and to expand their leases. Ultimately, the oyster fishers just want to focus on their livelihood, growing and selling oysters. When they're having to deal with the politics of everything, they're not able to grow and sell oysters, Dunbar said. The ban sought to limit the state's liability should coastal restoration work affect water bottoms after the 1993 operation of the Carnarvon Freshwater Diversion Project rendered some of the private oyster leases on Plaquemine Parish's East Bank unproductive. Oyster fishers sued over their losses in Breton Sound. A jury ruled in the fishers' favor, almost forcing the state to pay out more than $1 billion in damages. That ruling was overturned by the Louisiana Supreme Court in 2004, recognizing that clauses placed in lease agreements held the state harmless, but the moratorium on new leases persisted. Louisiana's $317 million oyster industry has been battered with challenges such as the BP's Deepwater Horizon oil disaster in 2010 and record Mississippi River flood seasons. In the coming years, some efforts to restore Louisiana's eroding coast will likely cause extensive short-term harm to oyster leases. Talks between state officials and the Louisiana Oyster Task Force led to the lifting of the moratorium and opening new areas for harvesting in attempts to ease some of the burden. Brian Encalade, Louisiana Oysterman Association president, said he thinks new leasing will help his industry move forward. Encalade lost more than 60% of his oyster leases after the Carnarvon freshwater diversion structure opened. We need to take the handcuffs off our oyster industry so that the state can better manage it, he said. There needs to be more options to work with the oyster industry and make sure we have a viable industry down here. Once the Department of Wildlife and Fisheries works its way through the old applications, it will move to offering the former owners of leases affected by the Carnarvon project the chance to reinstate their leases. The state is taking a phased approach to lifting the ban. Maniscalco said he thinks the first two phases will be finalized in the next 2 to 3 years. From there, leaseholders will have the chance to expand their lease boundaries as far as 500 feet in all directions to where land has receded, a privilege lost to the oyster harvesters when laws changed in 2010. After leases expand, the department will focus on cataloging areas where water bottoms are dually claimed by the state and a private property owner. In some cases, property owners who bought the land before the soil eroded have their own lease agreements with oyster harvesters for the water bottoms. In the past, the state has issued its own leases to oyster fishers for a contested area and ticketed others who hold agreements with private property owners. This phase of the agency's work will help it catalog where private agreements exist and reconcile the conflicts. The final two phases will let the general public enter a lottery to apply for an oyster lease for the remaining available areas. The department has also announced plans in its draft oyster habitat strategy to open at least 100 new oyster leases in productive areas, giving longtime harvesters the chance to diversify outside of areas that will probably be affected by coastal restoration projects and giving first-generation fishers a shot at their own lease. We want to give everyone the opportunity to apply if they feel like it's something they want to do. And we need acreage to be able to do that, said Maniscalco. In sports, Cougars takes showdown. STM beats Madison Prep to push win streak to 21 by Spencer Urquhart, staff writer. The Cajun Dome Classic gave high school basketball fans a matchup between two of the top programs in the state this season. The game lived up to its billing as the Cougars prevailed with a 62-55 win over Madison Prep on Saturday at the Cajun Dome. With the victory, the Cougars extended their win streak to 20 games. The Chargers led at halftime after a hot start, but the Cougars outscored the Chargers 15-2 in the third quarter and held strong to secure the win. At halftime, I told them I don't think Madison Prep is going to stay that hot, STM coach Danny Broussard said. They're hitting shots, and we're still only down by 3. So let's just keep guarding, and our matchup zone was good today. We made an adjustment on 4, Denzel Perkins, after he hit what I think was 4 in a row. It was unbelievable. So it was like, how are you going to guard him from out there? But we did make the adjustment and did a great job on him. I don't know what he had in the second half, but we did a great job of closing out on him, not giving him some open looks. It was just a great team effort. Perkins cooled off after scoring 16 points in the first half. The Cougars also stepped their defense up against dynamic big man Percy Daniels, who they limited to 8 points. We put Jack Betch and Dominic Jenkins on the big kid, Percy Daniels, Broussard said. We did a great job on him, I thought. He scored some points, and he's a tough guard. I thought we just battled him all night long. I thought we did a great job for the most part, giving him only 1 shot. When Madison Prep made that little run, they got a few second shots, but I thought we did a great job of just giving up 1 shot. That was a really good team we beat. I think they're some of the best teams in Louisiana. They're one of the best teams in Louisiana. I think it says a little bit about our team. It was a really good W for us. The Cougars' 27-4 record started a little slow in offense, but they picked up the pace once senior Carter Dominique found his rhythm in the third quarter and carried the scoring load, finishing with 21 points. He had a great night, Broussard said of Dominique. That's just what you expect from Carter. He does whatever he has to do on a given night for us to win. He made some great assists, and he made some big points, big baskets. Boy, he made a nice driving basket one time with his left hand. He's just special. He's a special athlete. In the Cougars' second half surge, Dominique and his teammates made the proper adjustments. We just battled together, Dominique said. I think it was just figuring it out in the second half. I think Coach Danny Broussard knew we were going to figure it out as a team because we play really well together. We're all great minds. We think the game really well. It just took a little while to get going, and once we did, it was fun to see. Whenever my number's called, I'm ready to go. Early on, I was trying to force shots, but that was when I really shouldn't have been playmaking early on. And then the third quarter's my time to score, so I do what I do. It took a team effort for the Cougars as guards Jaden Shelvin and Christian Landry aided Dominique and were complemented by big men Jack Besh and Bryce Bouillon. I mean, look at some of our guys. Big play after big play, Broussard said. We made some big shots. Our guys off the bench did a great job. Christian Landry had some big threes. Jaden Shelvin didn't have his best game of the year, but he still does a lot of things you can't measure. Jackson Monclub did a great job off the bench. Every guy, Jack Beck, every guy off the bench. Noah Hebert got a big basket for us and played great defense. They're just so versatile. I've got so many options. It's just a pleasure to have. St. Thomas More put a 21-game winning streak on the line against Carencro on Tuesday. It felt great. It was just such a big moment, Dominique said. We were really excited. We played at Burton Coliseum a few weeks ago. So if we make it to the state semifinals or state championship, that's where the games are going to be played. It was good to get some shots in those arenas because it's different than a high school gym. Just me beating Madison Prep, they're a perennial powerhouse in Louisiana, always winning state championships like us. So it was just good to get a win over them in my career. This has been Local News Live for February the 15th, 2021. I have been your reader, Ross Campbell. Join us at 9 a.m. Monday through Friday on AOC 1, Cypress Street Radio, or the AOC Community Media channel on YouTube. You can read these stories and more at theadvocate.com and find out how to volunteer and more at AOCINC, that's AOCINC.org. Bye now.